one of the squadrons had just returned from Northern Ireland, and they had like a welcome back party in the camp bar. There's a course called Assault Engineers, where infantry can come do engineering courses, and there was an infantry unit called the Fusiliers who were on camp doing that, but they were troublemakers. Basically, they were banned from downtown because they're always causing trouble. So they were on camp, and this evening that they had the big the family get together, they were in the bar as well. And me and my friend could see they were being quite rude to some of we call them pads wives, the lads' wives, So me and my friend, decided to open up on a couple of them. So we ended up, putting down 3 guys. My sergeant major came in. He's like, right, you boys go to bed. It's brushed under the carpet. I was then rudely awoken by a military policeman 2 hours later saying you're under arrest. And so before I went over to 5-9 Commando, there was possibility that I could be getting court-martialed for this fight. So I went over anyway. I did the first week of the beat-up. Then the course staff sergeant pulls me in. He said, you've got to fly to Germany. They're doing an ID parade. I was like, okay. So I flew.
ID parade is some kind of investigation?
Investigation with the police. Yeah, they want to line you up with other guys and see.
Are you like totally distraught at this point?
I'm not totally distraught. You do worry about your career, how this can affect your career. So I flew over, and me at the time, I still hadn't grown into my ears, so I just stood out like a sore thumb, and they all knew me as the PTI. So straight away they just beelined, yeah, that's the guy. My friend who did it with me, however, his brother was in the squadron as well, so he never got picked out. So I was like, okay, great. So I flew back to finish the beat up. They said, yeah, you're fit enough, you're ready. So I went on and did the commander course, and when we finished the commander course 10 weeks later, we go back to 5-9 Commando, and the OC is like that. He said, right, guys, you guys are going across the water. And the squadron were in Northern Ireland, so I thought, perfect, we're off to Northern Ireland. He said, not you, stop. He said, you're going across the other water. You're going back to Germany. He said, we need to get this cleared. So I went back to Germany, and basically they said, look, you can go court-martial, and it probably would get thrown out, but that's going to be another 12 months to 18 months. I've just passed the commander course. I wanted to go be with the commandos. So I just pleaded guilty. I got charged. And so I spent 56 days in the Military Correction Training Centre, which is Colchester Prison, known as the Glass House. But the commanding officer, actually, because everyone knew it was me and the other guy, they knew these guys were troublemakers. They're like, yeah, you just unfortunately got caught out. So the commanding officer was an airborne guy, airborne engineers.
This is the commanding officer at Colchester?
No, this is the German. Yeah, no, this is in Germany.
Okay.
So I have to leave that unit first. And so the RSM marches me, and the RSM was a football player with me, and he's like, right, Sapper Stott. I was going to give you 60 days, but because you've done the All-Arms Commander course, I've taken 4 days off. Any questions? I said, yes, if I'd gone airborne, would I got more days off? And he sort of giggled, and he said, it's time for you to go. So yeah, I spent 56 days in Her Majesty's Corrective Training Centre.
Yeah, I was looking. I didn't know what Colchester was, but it's basically it's the same term. Echo Charles. When you hear somebody say Leavenworth, what do you think of?
Yeah, prison.
Yeah, military prison.
Yeah.
That's kind of the way Colchester. I think it's the last military prison.
Really?
In England, or something. It's everybody knows it. The Glass House.
It's the Glass House.
It's the equivalent of Leavenworth.
Yeah, and everyone has. You hear horror stories coming out of the Glass House, and what it actually is because when you have an escort that drops you off, and the instructors are there to meet you, and it is like a scene out of Full Metal Jacket. They are screaming and shouting at you, but as soon as they've gone, they just treat you like adults. You know what I mean? It's they take away all those sort of those creature comforts. You're not allowed to phone anyone. It's 2 PT sessions a day. It's room inspections all the time. I actually really enjoyed Colchester. I said if I got paid full wages, I would have really enjoyed it. And it got to a stage actually where guys were going into Colchester and coming out better soldiers, a lot better soldiers, and they were actually getting promoted when they got back to their units, and they had to stop that. They said, no, it's you're there for the wrong, for bad reasons. You can't be seen to be promoted. So I did my time there, and went back to 5-9.